Welcome to the Horror Hangout, a podcast where film fans watch the best and worst horror movies of all time and talk about them. My name is Ben Errington, and I'm joined by regular co-host Mr.
Andy Conduit Turner. Hello, Ben, and indeed, hello, everybody. And most importantly, if you're listening on day of release, happy bloody Halloween, why don't you?
Happy Halloween, why don't you? Have a happy Halloween down your neck.
Yeah,
How
get it up,
exciting.
yeah.
Are you feeling suitably spooky? Are you feeling ready to eat all the candy corn?
It's a status quo around here. Always feeling spooky, always ready to eat candied corns or jelly animals of any description. The spookier the better, obviously.
Jellied animals. Have you had any pumpkin down your neck? That's the important.
I've
That's
had
the
pumpkin for my dinner today, Ben. Lovely bit
bloody
of pumpkin and
hell.
Mexican rice, ever so nice.
What a combo.
Yeah, all yum.
Yum indeed. I haven't
Really
had
good.
anything. I haven't had any pumpkin spiced stuff. As I said, it is a status quo. It's a being spooky is a way of life. It's not just 1 month of the year, is it?
Yeah, chockers for pumpkins all year round. Only when it's obviously sustainable, it's their season. But it's all right.
I did think
Always
about getting
spooky
a pump.
foods.
I did think about getting a pumpkin, but I think I've left it too late. This is gonna be the first year in maybe like 3 years that I've not been to a pumpkin patch as well. So I don't know, like the actual legit Halloween vibes aren't quite there for me yet. Maybe it will settle in tomorrow. I think we're having a pretty chilled one. We'll answer the door for the trick or treaters, obviously.
You got to get out there, get amongst it. Well, I hope everyone's having a lovely Halloween. We're here to keep you company today with
Yeah.
a very special
A
episode.
Halloween special, 1 day earlier than our usual Wednesday release day, because we thought we wanted to get it out on Halloween. That makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? And in terms of the Halloween franchise, we've done a franchise ranking episode, franchise rating episode, where we listed our preference of Halloween movies. And the main episodes we've covered obviously the original Halloween, we've covered the 2018 Halloween, we've covered kills, we've covered ends, and I think that might be it for
Yeah,
mainline
yeah.
episodes, right?
We've not done Halloween 2 yet, so technically we shouldn't be allowed to do this, but I'm gonna make an exception to that
Yeah,
rule.
let's make an exception. We can come back to it, go
We'll come
back to it.
back to it, but I'll tell you what, Ben, I think I was saying before we recorded, those last couple of sequels with Michael, he's mugged me right off. So
Oh
this is my
yeah, I'm
favorite.
glad
This
to
is my
see.
favorite one now. He's in
I'm glad to
detention,
see.
mate.
I'm glad to see the bloody back of him. To be honest, what are you doing? Are you killing? Are you ending? Are you getting mulched up by the mulcher? Are you in a cave, rejuvenating yourself?
Are you that boy now? Yeah, who
Are you
knows?
transferring your power to another person? Spoilers for Halloween kills and ends, I guess. Is someone attacking you with an iron? Is it mob rule and suddenly you're going Super Saiyan on their asses? I feel like
Yeah,
all of those things, all of the above
give it a bloody rest.
on the show. Actually, I think we discussed it on the week you were off, but Miramax have picked up the TV show rights to it. Whether that means we're going to get some sort of anthology similar to like the way Season of the Witch looked like
Oh, Bates Zombie did,
Rob
wasn't
Zombie
it?
one. Yeah, we saw that. We saw that. And it kind of spoiled it a little bit, didn't it? The fact that even seeing him in his little clown costume in the start of the first film, I'm a bit like, he looks all shell shocked that he's gone and stabbed his sister.
Turn your back on him for a second, and what's he gonna do? Stab your
Shank you.
sister up? Yeah,
He's
stab
gonna
you,
stab your sister right up.
stab your own sister right up, and then have to go to prison and turn into Kane if it's the Michael Myers, if it's the Rob Zombie version.
I just keep thinking of evil incarnate Michael Myers in prison. Like, it must have been days where he like played a board game or had a little bit of jam roly poly and custard.
Yeah, no way did he just stand straight up being silent and moody for like
Because he's a
14
serious
years or
unit.
whatever it was.
That is an incredible diet of incredible high protein diet.
How did he get so hench? He just tensed the whole time he was standing up, like 14 hours a day, just
Some people are naturally hench though. Oh bloody! What's your regime in the gym? Nothing. I'm just a massive bloke. All right.
just 14 hours in a day, just tensed all
10 to
day,
14
every
hours a
day.
day.
But
So
anyway, we don't want any of it.
interesting to
Michael
see.
Myers has taken too much of our time today. It's not about him today. Get off, Michael.
No,
It's the day. It's the day you went home. So get yourself there.
it's the night no one came home. Isn't that the tagline for this movie?
Is it?
Yeah.
Did they have to
I mean,
rush home to watch the giveaway at 9 p.m.?
it is a surprise we've not covered this film before. I guess because it's like a bit of a black sheep in the franchise. Obviously, it didn't critically it didn't do so well. I
The
think it did all
redheaded
right.
stepchild of the Halloween franchise.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah, the redheaded stepchild. Obviously, it was going to go in a sort of anthology direction, and then I guess the powers that be brought it back to Halloween to Michael Myers centric with Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. 6 years later, mind. So when you think about it, like that's a long time for
Horror sequels for sure.
yeah. It's a good 6 years where they were just like, bloody hell, what are we gonna do then? Get Michael Myers back. Let's just make out that he's all
He's got the
right.
formula.
He's got the formula exactly. Whereas obviously if you just called this film Season of the Witch, maybe, and then still suggested it was linked to Halloween somehow, even though the only real connection in this is the advert. We see a little advert on the TV with Halloween existing
And
as a movie.
Halloween's on the telly at 7:40 in the evening as well.
Yeah, that's fine. In this universe as well, maybe it was like family friendly.
He's got satellite TV that's broadcast from elsewhere.
Yeah. And it is just like it is just a weird film, isn't it? Like if you just called it Season of the Witch and it was his own thing, I think I still would have thought of it as a bit of a weird film. The fact that it's a Halloween sequel makes it, I guess, even more weird. I'm surprised it got to this point. I'm surprised it got past like being pitched. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can imagine it be like pitched and someone go, hang on a minute, what's this? No Michael Myers? Well, first thing, no.
But yeah, give us Michael. But I'm glad they did this, and we'll talk about how much we appreciated it as we go in. I guess
a weird film, but still an entertaining film. And if you remember, and I definitely urge listeners to go back to episode 250 and find Video Store Kev's pitch for what he wanted ends to be, where he was like he's going to connect it all to Season of the Witch. And that's the thing. I think if you're a fan of Season of the Witch, you're a huge fan, and you think it's like one of the key components of the franchise. But unfortunately, for mainstream audiences coming into this, and if there was a callback to it in future films, people would be like, what the hell's going on?
it's a Stonehenge in little silver dollars attached to a mask.
I forgot about the bits of Stonehenge thing
That that guy stole.
Yeah. And how did you get it here? Well, don't you ask.
Yeah, I
Don't
love
ask,
that. That's one of my favorite bits of the film. Like he knows that some clever dick's going to go, how did anybody get that there? But he's Stonehenge, bring it all the way over here. And he goes, just one little line. He goes, oh, you should have seen the game we had getting this here.
When I was a very young man, I started bringing tiny pieces of it back on a flight. And now I'm an old man, and I've got a whole bit of it here now.
Yeah,
it's taken forever.
He's been great escaping it out of the country. Every time he goes on holiday, straight to Stonehenge, chip of it off, put it in his trousers.
Is that a bit of Stonehenge you got there? Your air miles are absolutely off the chain, mate.
Your carbon footprint, Donald, is massive.
So before we get into it, obviously we discussed Halloween. Let's talk about some horror news. And before we go too crazy into horror news, there's loads of sequel news. I'm just going to talk about one thing we've put out on the socials this week. Horror Hangout Plays. We're going to now. I've always done like little gaming videos, some live streams and stuff, and Twitch streams and little gaming videos. I'm going to rebrand that, which I was doing on the Hawk and Cleaver channel, as Horror Hangout Plays, where we play obviously just horror games. So yeah, let us know what you want us to play. It's going to be like a YouTube only series, and I've already got the first game ready to go.
What are you going for, Ben? What's your first game?
I'm going for the X-Files game on PS1, the full motion video, the full motion video X-Files game. There is a sequel as well on PS2 called Resist and Serve, I think, which is more of like a third person like horror game. But I remember this X-Files game. I didn't own it, but somebody I know owned it, and I was like I was baffled by the fact it like looked like the show, but it was a game. So I'm gonna give that a go. It might be a good idea or not. I don't know. Do you want to know how many discs it's got, Andy?
I think it's going to be 4 discs, 4
It's
PS1 discs.
it's 4 PS1 discs, so it's going to be perhaps. I mean, potentially a huge undertaking. But looking forward to getting my teeth into that. So yeah, I thought I'd
I've
just
got some
mention
horror
that.
games I'd like an excuse to play. If I'm doing it for content, I might actually finally get around to playing them. I need to finish that Blair Witch game. I need to.
I
Now
need
you
to
talk
finish
about
that Blair Witch game.
point and click adventures. I mean, I had to spoil it for myself. I was finding it too stressful thinking whether the dog was going to die or not. So I had to Google it. And I
Yeah,
was like, now I can go into these things prepared. No
I need to go
spoilers.
back to it. I need to go back to it. I don't know why I stopped playing it, to be fair, because it's definitely the
Oh, it's
kind of
good.
game
It's good. And I really
that.
like the team behind it. But maybe I'll do a point and click adventure as well. Maybe I will try Sierra Classic Phantasmagoria.
Oh, oh yes.
Or
I did.
Phantasmagoria 2. That one's a little bit sexy there. You got to be careful putting that out.
Is it?
Yeah.
Bit of sexiness going down. I did a point and click adventure game, not a horror game, but it was when I was just playing a lot of different things. I did the first Broken Sword game. Point and click adventure game sounds well and good, but when I was live streaming it on Twitch, it was a bit embarrassing because I was because when I got
Stuck.
stuck, I was actually like, I'm gonna have to go away. I did luckily have a few people like jump in and sort of tell me what I needed to do. I think they were Googling it, to be
Someone's
fair.
got the guide up. That's nice.
Someone's got the guide up, yeah. Because there's really specific things. But yeah, I think it's good because I think with horror games, if we do that, something extra for the YouTube channel, but also we can go back and play some classics, play some stuff that we maybe missed. I found there's a bloody Dracula game on the Sega Mega Drive, Bram Stoker's Dracula, like
Yeah.
based on the movie.
Get stuck into that. Get Bram
Get stuck
Stoker
in it.
on. Maybe we'll do. Yeah, I'm going to need to get my tech sorted first because I'm vaguely aware of how I can do video capture and set up my camera and all that other stuff. But then actually physically doing it, that's a different story.
Yeah, it's not always straightforward, to be fair.
I'll have to get this
It's not
done. We'll
always
have to.
straightforward.
We live in guest and friend of the show, Ash Millman's life, getting all the wires sorted, getting it all done. Do a bit of
Getting all the
streaming.
wires sorted. Ash, can I just ask you? I know you've got a lot of knowledge
I
about a
know
lot of
you.
different things.
I know
How'd
you're
you get on?
busy, and you got this. How do you? Where do I stick this HDMI? Eh? Where's my
Where's
VGA
those bloody
output going?
Where's those bloody wires go? Ash, I know you're not tech support. However, can you just tell me what this is, please? Yeah.
Yeah. What HDMI switches are you going to recommend here to really get the quality down? But yeah, I'm up for this. This sounds a lot of fun. But you were about to tell us, Ben, about some sequels before we get too excited
Yeah.
about video games.
I mean, this is the thing. In terms of horror news, we've gone sequel crazy on horror news this week. An announcement of one of them literally just dropped when just as we started recording. There's going to be a sequel to It Follows.
Yes.
Can you believe it? I can't believe it. And it's called They Follow, not They Follows, because that don't make sense.
It's proper Aliens vibe though. You just make the thing plural.
Yeah.
Now they follow.
No, They Follow. You remember that there was one thing following you? Yeah, I remember that. Imagine two things following you. That's
2 or more.
terrifying. Now imagine 7. That's horrific. Don't want to get involved with
I mean,
that.
the mind will play tricks with you, Ben. Technically, they follow limitless, infinite things to follow you.
Exactly.
So you got to watch out.
So yeah, directed by what's his name? David Mitchell. No, not that David Mitchell. What's his
It
name?
is that, but there's a middle name in there for the director.
David Robert Mitchell. It's not
Yeah.
David Mitchell from Peep Show and other things. So apparently it is. So Neon are co-producing it. I think it was A24, wasn't it, the first one? Mitchell returns as both writer and director for the sequel. Micah Monroe is reprising a role, the lead role, and the sequel will release in 2024. Principal photography is set for 2024. So we don't know anything else about it. We don't know, what the story is going to be. But director's back, star is back, more of the same. Hopefully we get that lovely, tasty, crunchy disaster piece soundtrack as well, because that really made the film. And hopefully we get an interesting shot of a really tall man walking through a door, an old lady walking towards you through a hallway,
some weird Kindles.
So, that little clamshell phone. Lovely. Hello, who's that? well, it was in some weird sort of parallel universe, wasn't it? So yeah, that is that. They follow, and then also earlier this week, a sequel to The Black Phone.
Or the
Apparently
Black
called
Phones.
just. Or it's called The Black Phones. What do you do if one black phone rings? Well, answer it. But what if two ring? Which one do you answer? Can't answer them both at the same time, can you? You might.
Horrible
The Black
feedback.
Phone 2. Have you got any information about the Black Phone 2?
Any information about the Black Phone 2? So, I mean, I'm going to speculate before I begin. Do we know if anyone's reprising their role?
I don't know about that. I know that Scott Derrickson is going to be directing, and the same like team are back, like including the writers.
Okay.
But I don't know. Obviously, I don't want to spoil it for anyone either. But I don't know what that means in terms of Ethan Hawke reprising his role. Maybe it's like a Black Phone killer. What's his name? The Black Phone killer.
Oh, he was like called the Grabber or the Snatcher, right?
That's it. The grabber. Yeah. So yeah. So I don't know if he's going to be reprising his role, where it's going to be like an old, like a prequel, for example. I was going to say an old version of the story. I meant prequel.
Where the phone was, it's going to go back to a time where the phone was connected.
The phone was connected, yeah.
And he's just using it for regular calls.
Apparently, it's the launch of a sinister new franchise coming out from Blumhouse as well, and it's set for June the 27th, 2025. I don't even know what I'm having for dinner tomorrow, let alone what I'm going to be doing on June the 27th, 2025. So there we go. Another sequel. I'll have a bit more of that. I like the Black Phone.
I'm happy for more of both of those. I think both films would have been perfectly fine without a sequel, but I'm not against either of them having one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. That's one of those things, isn't it? I'm like, well, if it's coming out, I'll watch it. I'm not going to be like, hey, this was absolutely perfect. There's no way I'm going anywhere near it. I'm not that kind of guy. And then finally, the final bit of sequel news we've got is that the Terrifier 3 movie is being confirmed as a Christmas movie. There was a poster that leaked online, which looked like Art the Clown had like Santa Claus's face torn off and was wearing it around his neck. I looked at that poster. You know, sometimes you see a fake poster, you go, absolutely not. I looked at it, I was like, it's too good not to be real. It's got to be real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, who's gone to the time and effort to make something that damn good
when it's not when it's not the thing?
I'd be annoyed if I was making Terrifier 3 and it wasn't a Christmas movie, and then suddenly
that
someone made a poster. I'd be like, oh god, I've missed a trick. But yeah, Christmas slasher. I think there's going to be some sort of preview teaser trailer being shown with Terrifier 2 when it is back in cinemas for a brief amount of time in November, I believe. I'm guessing mainly in the States, but yeah, I'm sure that will arrive online pretty quick sharp anyway. So there we go.
Looking forward to it. And I know from, word from the creative team behind Terrifier, they said certainly in early production that there was going to be some more focus on kind of story beats and things like that in versus the second one, right? Which I felt had in itself more story than the first one did. Yeah. I think they're building that side of what the film is. So I'm interested to see what comes up.
And again, not spoiling anything, but a bit more of a supernatural take on some things, possibly. So yeah, looking forward. Oh, check it out. I'm gonna watch it. I'll watch it. So there we go. I mean, that is pretty much it I've got for news. Have you got anything else?
No, nothing else from news for me. Just been trying to watch all this bloody stuff.
Have you seen anything then? So what we've been watching this week? Anything horror or horror adjacent that you've seen in the week leading up to Halloween?
I got a few things for you. Got a few things for you.
Should we round robin it?
Yeah,
give me one.
go on.
Give you one back.
Well, I tell you what. I will begin with. Let's go one that I can't really talk about at all. We have seen, and we will have a. This is news and what we've been watching. We'll have an interview out about it in the next couple of weeks. We have watched upcoming Christmas horror movie, It's a Wonderful Knife. Now, right now, obviously, it's in pre-release, so embargoes are up, so we won't be talking about this. But I have had the great pleasure of speaking with the movie's director, Tyler McIntyre, just the other day. had a quick chat with him about making the film, and that will be out. Is it first week in November, second week in November?
Yeah, I think it's November the 7th. It's down for release, so we'll probably put our interview out around about that time as well.
But yeah, opinions on that coming up when that's released. But what I can say, because that's not subject to embargo, that I had a lovely time talking to Tyler, and you should hear more what I thought about the movie at that time.
Yeah, most definitely.
What's your next one, Ben?
We also will be releasing a bonus episode on When Evil Lurks. I think we've had loads of stuff on, haven't we? We've been doing interviews. We've been doing like various other coverage things. So When Evil Lurks, we'll try and get that out. Our little bonus episode on that ASAP. I saw Totally Killer, the Amazon Prime time travel slasher movie.
Oh, how was that?
Starring the lady from the new Sabrina. What's her name? I found it was perfectly fine. It's in the same sort of vein as things like Happy Death Day 2 You. Is that what the sequel's called?
Yeah.
Yep. In the same vein as that, whereas like, sure, it's got some people getting stabbed, it's got some slasher kills, but it's very easy to watch, inoffensive, fun. Time travel going back to the 80s is always a pleasure, isn't it? Well, I was a bit like, come on now. This is what the 80s looked like back then. Put a bit more effort in.
Put some more brown clothes on.
Put some more brown clothes on. Make some hair bigger. And I think if you just don't go into it thinking, well, the rules of time travel would suggest that would be, frankly, impossible.
If you're big old science, then fuck off, will you? Just strap in for some fun.
Like that bit in Looper. Do you remember that bit in Looper where someone's fingers just start disappearing?
Because he smashed his fingers up in the past.
That hurt my brain so much, where I was just like, yeah, but surely all of his fingers would just vanish at the same time, not one by one. No, I don't know. It hurts even thinking about it. I don't get it. This was good fun. I think in terms of like a slasher mystery, it wasn't particularly shocking. In a way, like the reveal, I was a bit like, I'm gonna kind of need confirmation on what that means, because I'm not sure I entirely follow it. But everything that led up to it was great, and actress who plays Sabrina is great, because that's the first thing I've seen her in, because I've not seen the Sabrina reboot thing.
Okay.
You might need to tell me who her name is, because
because you're having the real life horrors of horrible computer problems, aren't you?
I'm having the horrible computer problems right now. But yeah, that was good. I recommend that. It was one that was on my list as like, I think during the Magic Weekend in October, when about 5 different horror things released, that was the last one I needed to watch. So I've got it.
Her name is Kiernan Shipka. I think I could have given you 100 guesses and you would have never got that.
100? Give me 1,000. There we go. Right, what's next for you?
Right, next up on my list was I watched. I'd forgotten I'd seen this, which is damning with faint praise, but I watched it again and I did enjoy it well enough. It's on Netflix right now. It's called There's Someone Inside Your House.
There's someone inside your house. I feel like you've mentioned this on the show whenever you watched it the first time.
Yeah, maybe I did. But I hadn't written it on Letterboxd, so it hadn't happened. But now I have. So we watched that in the mood for just a silly slasher, and the concept behind this one is the mask of the killer is indeed like a 3D printout, 3D printed mask, Mission Impossible style, of the intended victim. And
Jesus.
The killer's going around revealing all sorts of like secrets of the people that isn't. So if you've cheated on your maths test, or accidentally beat someone up while you're doing some hazing, or if your dad owns too many of the cornfields, these are really things that happened in the story, or if you take prescription medicine, then the killer's coming after you.
If you've got that mask on and you're going to kill someone, can you change your target halfway through? Like if someone else interferes, can you go, I'm going to kill you? You go, you've got
to be committed. Unfortunately, that's the rules.
You've got to see it through.
I mean, I I won't spoil it, but you think if you're the police in that one, you just look for who has bought a 3D printer recently,
Yeah,
in
good point.
in the community.
Ain't gonna be a
But
lot of people, is it?
no, they're not commonplace. But you know what? It was fun. It was silly. It was a good teenage slasher. It's on Netflix. If you're so inclined, give that a go.
Sweet. Okay. What else have I seen? Also, I saw the last video store. I did a little interview with Kev Martin and with Tom Rutherford from the film before it premiered at Fright Fest Halloween, the weekend just gone. Unfortunately, we couldn't attend this version of Fright Fest because they don't
Bit
want us
far,
back.
isn't
They
it?
said
Don't live in
it's a bit
London.
far. But yeah, Kev and they were in Canada, so they didn't attend the screening. However, it's a good time. It's a really good time. I think if you're a fan of video stores, if you're a fan of Kev, after hearing Kev on the show, literally got a wealth of knowledge, and it seems like a never-ending black hole of videos. Well, if you no matter what you mention, he'll have it. If you
He's got
go,
one.
have you got the TV show Rainbow, the first 3 episodes that were lost to? Yeah, I've got this on video. Have you got like a workout DVD or video from the star of this? Yeah, I've got that. He's got it all, you know.
He's
Um,
he's he's the man. Like I said when we were talking about him just the other day, like I've not seen many people in this life with such genuine like passion and knowledge about genre cinema.
yeah,
And there he
and
is.
I
And I'm not surprised by hearing you say it's a good time, Ben, for two reasons. One, because of course it is, and two, because I also watched it early today.
Oh, you watch it as well? Hell
Yeah.
yes. It is. I was surprised by how much like heart and soul it had. And that soundtrack, that synth soundtrack, just
Mhm.
took the emotions from like wherever they were, like they were astronomical. And as I said in my interview with Kev, do you want to check it out as a bonus episode that we released a few days ago? He kept playing it down as his silly little movie. So I told him at one point, I said, like, looking forward to catching up later. I'm off to watch Killers of the Flower Moon, and he was like, "So you're off to watch a Martin Scorsese 3.5 hour epic, and then you're going to come and talk to me about my silly little film?" And I was like, "I don't think you should play it down like that because, of
Yeah.
course, it's completely different, but at the same time, it had a lot going for it. I really enjoyed all the like fake movies that were involved. I think as a concept,
They
it's
were
really
so much
interesting and
fun.
great.
They were so
Obviously,
good.
it borrows heavily from a lot from all over the place, but that's kind of the point, I think, isn't it?" But
True
yeah,
story. Yeah, brilliant. I had a lot of fun with it. Hopefully, it'll be available for people to watch. I know certainly at Kev's store when it's available to buy in real life.
yeah.
So if you're in
And I
Canada,
think
get yourself over.
I did say to Kev as well. I don't know if you feel the same. Did you expect him to be half as good as he was? I don't know why. It wasn't like I was just thinking, "Oh, he's going to be naff." I didn't think that at all. Of course. However, I didn't expect it to be as good as it was, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like I know exactly what you're saying because a dynamic and charismatic man he is, but Kev does not list his job as being an actor. I think
Yeah,
he's very good. I think he was very good.
he was very good. Yeah, definitely. So big up, Kev. Big up the last video store. Yeah. Anything else on your list?
I got a couple of shorts. I know that you've seen at least one of these, so I'll do these as a double whammy because we'll do these by runtime. I watched again on Netflix, dabbling with a couple of shorts recently. Yum, yum, yum. I
Oh,
watched Disco Inferno, a 2023 short horror film, only 19 minutes. A young couple conjures a dark presence that hungers for their unborn baby as they prepare to burn up the dance floor in LA's hottest disco.
god damn. God
So there was
damn.
that. Just a lot of fun. It's 19 minutes. Yeah, good little spooky story. It's got some little scary scenes in it. And I also watched friend of the show and previous guest Jed Shepard's directed and written piece on Netflix, Flashback,
Oh yeah. I saw
which you
that
also
too.
watched.
Have I mentioned that already?
Did you mention it when I was away?
I don't know. Maybe last week as well. Yeah, I watched that last week. So obviously Jed's been on the show. He covered From Beyond on an episode quite a while back now. But yeah, great to see everything he's putting out, and I've just been a constant enjoyer and supporter of everything. He's got like an FMV video game coming out
Yeah,
as well,
that's
and he
still
goes,
that's on the way along, isn't it?
yeah,
It's hard to
there
say
we
with these
go.
things. Games take ages, but um,
Yeah.
anything else on your list? Otherwise, I've got just one more.
I just wanted to mention as well that I picked up a copy of Blobby Horror, a comic anthology by Frisson Comics, who I've sort of been following for a while. And this was like, and again, a quintessentially British pop culture phenomenon, Mr. Blobby, back in the 90s, had a hit single. He was on a light entertainment show. He had some sort of theme park called Crinkly Bottom, which I'm pretty sure I went to, which is like now abandoned. And he was a bit nuts and scary, and a lot of people were scared of him. Loads of little horror stories in a little comic anthology with other with appearances by the Chuckle Brothers, obviously Noel Edmonds, but like a naked Noel Edmonds more so than he's clothed, and it's by lots of different writers as well. And I'm like, hang on a minute, was there some sort of agreement here to say
That's
Noel
all
Edmonds
do.
must...
It must only ever appear naked in these comics.
Yeah. And as somebody who grew up, and my little sister was like obsessed with Mr. Blobby, there's even a story in it which is like about a Mr. Blobby cake, and I was like, I'm pretty sure my sister had that Mr. Blobby cake.
The idea, like,
yeah,
you saying a Mr. Blobby cake, words I've not heard since I don't know when, but I feel like that has conjured like a primal memory of knowing what a Mr. Blobby cake was.
She had a video as well for like loads of weird. All I can describe the video as was like it was Mr. Bean, but with Mr. Blobby. Like he'd be getting himself into loads of different hijinks and scrapes, and just being a bit mad and terrifying. But yeah, highly recommend checking it out. I backed it on Kickstarter, so I got a copy of it. I'm pretty sure Frisson Comics are at Thought Bubble when we're there in a couple of weeks as well. So gonna have to swing by and
check them out. I guess, you know, with that coming up, we're gonna have to really pivot into reading a lot of horror comics in the next couple of weeks. I got the Blobby horror anthology as well. Need to get and read it. But yeah, it's time to catch up on some comics before we're at Thought Bubble.
Most definitely. And what was the other thing you've got?
My last thing I had, I've not seen the film that precedes it, but I did watch Escape Room: Tournament of Champions.
Oh yeah, I think I've seen that one. That's the second one, isn't it?
It's second. I've not seen the first one, but you know what? I like a real life escape room, so I thought, why wouldn't I enjoy this? And it turns out it's because the people that make them are horrible. It's basically like if John Kramer from Jigsaw just did it in a motiveless way. Like, should I just get people
with traps? People up, you know. I want to get exactly the type of people who come to these escape rooms.
And he's got like limitless resources as well. You can electrify an entire train carriage. You can build a beach that has quicksand in it. You can
an upside down room in this one.
There was no upside down room in this one. That must be the first one.
I think that's the first one, yeah.
You've seen Tournament of Champions, right?
Yeah, I don't really remember it very well.
It's perfectly disposable, and it's just, again, it's a great way of doing a ton of different set pieces. That you can have, like, you know, in one scene they're in, because they're all fake locations like escape rooms. They're in a bank vault, and then they go through a door and they're at the beach, and then they go through a door and they are in like a city street where there's acid rain that comes down and it'll melt you.
Oh yeah, the acid rain. I do remember that.
And you've got to be ever so good at escape rooms if you're going to get out of this.
I was about to say, how do you even collect acid rain? And I was thinking it's probably just acid that they've
then put in the sky. Yeah.
Well, lots and lots of things watched, which is
none lesser than the film of the week.
Film of the week. I mean, lots of things watched. I was going to have a mini rant as well just before we go into this, right? I listened to some sort of, well, it wasn't a podcast, it was a YouTube video. And the attitude of somebody when they were like failing at a film quiz, which they'd obviously signed up for on YouTube, a horror film quiz, indeed. And the attitude of this person, and they said, "Oh, come on, I don't watch any of these films. I got a life. I go outside." And I was annoyed at that to the point
live streaming your reaction to doing a quiz on YouTube.
Yeah.
I would argue that if your measurement of life is not engaging with these films to watch them, you're losing, my friend.
But I also think let people just do what they want with their time. You know, you got 24 hours in a day. A lot of those are set aside for work and sleep. With your free time, do what you want. Don't feel pressured to go outside. Obviously, yeah, go outside. Don't feel pressured to go and climb to the top of a hill if what you want to do is stay at home and watch Halloween 3 Season of the Witch.
Yeah.
Enjoy that. Time is, and these are the same type of people who just go, what's that? Don't really watch films, no, but I'll just watch all of Game of Thrones over the weekend. It's like I haven't got the I haven't got the I haven't got the brain capacity to
When people
concentrate for 2 hours.
When I hear people saying that, then my immediate thought back to them is, oh, do you want to check the audio inputs on your microphone? Because I can see your mouth moving, but all I can hear you saying is wah, wah, wah. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, I just have a mini rant about that because it got on my nerves a little bit earlier. And I've definitely had it in the past where people go, God, you watch a lot of horror films, don't you? Oh, come on. It's just like, yeah, but I like it. So let people do what they like as long as they don't hurt anyone else. All right.
You've got a wonderful foot in both of these worlds, Ben. But like same with like, oh, buddy, listen, know all about these horror films and everything like that. What buddy, sad existence. Now, if you excuse me, I'm just gonna be able to catalogue every kick of a ball this football player has made in this entire 30-year career. I'm like, oh, fucking shoot me in the head, mate.
You know all those football matches have just happened? Yeah. Same again next week.
Yeah. We're going to see if London Red can top London Blue this time.
I'm definitely at the point with football now. Well, at the moment, especially with the team I'm supporting not doing so well, where the next time a game rolls around, I honestly do go, not again. I can't go through this anymore.
We've played them.
We played them like 2 weeks ago, and they hammered us. Yeah, I enjoy both of those things probably equally, but don't take anyone else down. Let everyone else enjoy what they want, as long as it's not A, illegal, or B, the Daily Mail.
Yeah, those two things can fuck off.
Those two things can fuck off. But yeah, film of the week, which is Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Can't believe it's taken 308 episodes for us to get around to this one. But I think I say that every time we cover a film now, because it is almost like, how have we not covered this before? And there's no sort of grand scheme, huge plan. We usually plan the episodes maybe a month in advance. Mm-hmm. So who knows? Who knows how that's happened? But
difficult. There's a lot of films to get through. We'll get to them all. Don't you worry.
We will. We'll get them all. And if films keep getting released, I'm going to be praying for a zombie apocalypse so all the films are done. Okay, so Halloween 3, Season of Witch, 1982, American science fiction horror film. The third installment in the Halloween film franchise, the first film to be written and directed by Tommy Lee Wallace, John Carpenter and Debra Hill. They're just writing. Is that correct?
I believe so, and producing.
Oh, no. They're just producing, it looks like. Halloween 2 is the only entry in the series that does not feature... Sorry, no, Halloween 3. Come on now, silly. The only entry in the series does not feature the series antagonist, Michael Myers. Where is he? What's he been doing? Had a disappointing reception, disappointing box office, and then he got brought back 6 years later. But yeah, in terms of the synopsis for Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, kids all over America want Silver Shamrock masks for Halloween. Dr. Daniel Challis seeks to uncover a plot by Silver Shamrock owner Conal Cochran. I say, just from his name, I know he's evil. Not because it's a bit Irish, just because
an alliterative name, like a Marvel film.
An alliterative name. Yeah, I mean, who does it star? Tom Atkins, Stacey Nelkin, Dan O'Herlihy, Matthew Curry, Ralph Straight. I mean, Tom Atkins and Stacey. Well, it's just the top three you kind of need to worry about. Everyone else is kind of just in and around it. Yeah, in terms of ratings for this film, we've got 5.1 on IMDb, not great. 50% critic score, 28% audience score. I'm shocked by that. I thought it would have been one of those films.
I thought it'd be the other way around.
Was far higher than the critic score, but yeah, 3.9 on Letterboxd. Got some choice reviews for you here. Lou says Michael Myers may be absent from Season of Witch, but that doesn't make it a bad movie. I actually think it's one of the better entries in the franchise. 4 stars. Ida says Michael Myers was pregnant that year, so the filmmakers had to improvise. 3 stars. Jesus. Joe Cole. That's a footballer, but it's probably not him.
I want to know that.
I think it makes perfect sense to replace Michael Myers as the antagonist of a Halloween movie with a magical factory, a boy band of androids, and a commercial. 3 stars.
It doesn't make sense. Also, if you're following the logic, bearing in mind that these films sequelized each other back in the day, Michael Myers got shot in the eyes last time.
Yeah, his eyes were proper bleeding. His eyes came sharp in his eyes.
He got his eyes shot out by Donald Pleasance.
What's happened? Have your eyes been shot out?
Yeah. Did my eyes get shot out and then he got like burned up in a fire? Yes. Well,
can I just mention my favorite moment from the Halloween franchise, even though I'm halfway through these reviews?
Is it when Paul Rudd beats fuck out of him?
No. Do you remember when a man who just so happens to be dressed as Michael Myers in Halloween 2 gets shot and then ran over to death?
And then explodes
just because he looked a bit like Michael Myers. There he is! And fucked him up. First of all, how on earth did that happen? Because Michael Myers' costume was haphazardly put together just by the first place he came across. Oh, I'm going to get a lovely some overalls. And the mask was just in a shop, right?
And it's set directly after Halloween 1, right? Like the same night.
So it makes sense that mask would be on sale. That mask exists. That mask is out there. But the fact he's combined it with the same mechanics, like overalls, whatever they are, is insane. And that is probably, but I think, my favorite moment of the whole franchise. Don't know about it.
I'd forgotten about that. That's so good. I would love there to be like a little, maybe a little prequel short where, now we've seen Michael Myers' face revealed in some instances. We could do a little film where we have a little short film where he's just escaped from the asylum and he is just like hiding out, like peeping around the thing, and he's like looking for people's ideas, and you see that guy buy that costume and he thinks, that's what I'm going to wear.
Or do you reckon he's like dead embarrassed? Like when he sees that guy, he's like, oh, bloody hell, we're clashing.
One of us are going to have to change.
Mine was dead. One of us is going to have to change or be run over and exploded. My money's on you. The last review is from KYK, who says, excuse me, am I supposed to root for this doctor who's Me Too'd his nurse and then got with the dead guy's underage daughter? Is she underage?
He has to check, doesn't he? Only after they've had sex. He goes, hang on a minute, how old are you? And she goes, I'm older than I look. Okay.
I'm older than I look. Well, that don't mean anything to me in this era. He slaps one nurse's ass, doesn't he? Is that what I mean? I should have married you. Whomp.
It slaps her, and then he goes and like basically gets the coroner to do any work for him by saying, how much sex do you want? I'll take you out for lovely dinners.
How much sex do you want? Give me a metric. Give me just a round figure, ballpark figure.
He's so mean to his ex-wife.
So we've obviously. Oh yeah, he is. I'd call you on Monday, all right? What's the name of the hotel you're staying at? I don't bloody know. We'll leave
also, they're not together, so you could say, "I'm going away to a motel with this with the dead man's daughter."
When he started sleeping with the dead man's daughter, I was like, "You dirty, cheated so and so," and then I had to have a thought and go, "Hang on a minute, no, he's not. He's perfectly within his rights to do what he wants as long as it's consensual."
But he should be looking after his kids.
Oh yeah, you don't care. I don't understand how this man gets embroiled in this whole thing, really, because you're like, what's the end goal for him? Is it just to get laid?
I mean, I guess he doesn't want to take his kids trick or treating. So it's like, how can I fuck this up? I'm going to get really invested in this murder because this man turned up at the hospital and then a robot man came and poked his fingers into his face to death.
And then committed suicide in a car. Because it seems like there's nothing in it for him, really. Obviously, if he knew that his kids were going to be... If he had any idea of the gravitas of this particular scheme by Silver Shamrock, he would obviously go straight to his house and get the masks and, smush them up.
He just managed to solve it with a single phone call once he's found out about it.
A single phone call like this. All right, I've got an answer for you. Stop shouting at me, for fuck's sake. That would happen to me. If I had to make one really difficult phone call, I'd have to call my mum and give her one piece of information or something. She'd start telling me about some drama in the street where she lives.
Oh, Ben, I was out the other day, and you'll never guess what was in the middle of. No, get the masks in the bin, Mum.
Get the masks in the bin. The masks? No, they're great. Don't need to put them in the bin. They're brilliant. I've got one on right now while I'm talking to you. Yeah.
Fuck off, Mum. Don't tell your mother to fuck up. Oh no!
In fact, get rid of the masks and you wear it and watch the advert. Bye.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
that's all
'cause
to come. Right now, we just begin with. Actually, I tell you what, the beginning incident is a man having a lovely time just doing his shift at the garage. In many ways, a lonely existence, wasn't it? Ever so relaxing. Can you imagine that? All your job is to do is hang out at the garage, watch your stories, and see if anyone comes and wants any petrol.
Yeah,
Um,
that's it.
and
And with
someone doesn't
all the
come wanting
self-serve
petrol.
things,
Someone
well,
comes along, bloody manic, clutching a Silver Shamrock mask.
absolutely manic, sprinting. His name's Harry Grimbridge, and he's got the jack-o'-lantern Halloween mask. And he's pursued by mysterious men in suits.
Yeah, they're after him. Jack-o'-lanterns are the best one of the three, right?
Yeah, I think jack-o'-lantern is the most iconic, and I think just because it's like front and center in this film, like it's the first instance of somebody's head turning into bugs. Is when they're
That'll
wearing
happen.
that one. The skull one and the witch one, like, is kind of just there as well a bit, but the jack-o'-lantern one's like the iconic one, and it matches that logo in the background as well. It matches the Silver Shamrock thing.
Yeah, I think I'd personally go. I think it's the eyes for me. If I was in 1982's America when Silver Shamrock were putting out their merchandise, I think I'd want jack-o'-lantern first. If they were sold out, I'd
Very
settle for the
squishy.
skeleton. Yeah,
It's incredibly squishy, isn't it?
They look like they feel quite nice.
Yeah.
Very satisfying.
Yeah, very squishy. And obviously back in the day, mate, growing up in the UK, pretty much all you had access to, well, for me at least, in sort of like the 80s and 90s, was like these crappy plastic masks that I say all I had access to. I guess all that my mum bought me when I was young, with the really tight elastic, thin cut
stapled
on
either side of the
stapled
thing.
on either side, and if that came off, you're screwed. The edges of it was plastic. The edges of it would like break and sort of split and like scratch you on the face. Awful. And obviously, you combined it with a bin bag, didn't you?
Yeah. I mean, what would have been your plastic mask of choice? Like a devil, a werewolf, postman Pat?
So I've definitely got I've got memory, and I think I've got a photo of me dressed as a witch. So I think I was like, "What's that? Gender roles in Halloween Halloween costumes? Forget it." And I remember there's a picture of me dressed as a witch with a potentially problematic curly black wig and like the hat, and then I guess the mask and a bin bag as well. Yeah. So much so, right, that even the smell of this is gonna be weird, but sometimes scents take you straight back, don't they?
Yeah.
The smell of a bin bag, even now, takes me back to all the Halloweens of years gone by.
Makes you hungry for sweets.
Makes me hungry for sweets. Yeah, good times.
Yeah, we weren't allowed to we got out her on this one. My mum wouldn't let us go trick or treating. She's like, "Bloody, it's an American holiday. It doesn't even exist. It's not an American holiday, Mum. It's from Ireland." But and going out there, bloody begging for sweets. I'm not into it. Now, as adults, I can tell you, my parents will have a full house full of Halloween decorations up. They have a projector up there. They're super into it now. They have a great time. They love a bit of Halloween. Been at a party at my sister's house just this weekend. Yeah, they're big fans now. So I never got to go trick or treating growing up. So not the same bin bag based memories.
Oh.
Ever so
Did
sad.
you make up for it with some later life trick or treating?
Oh yeah, as an adult, I've had like Halloween parties, and I love a dressing up. I think one of my favorite Halloween costumes is, and my mom was involved in that. She got, she had the skills. Like, did an excellent Mortal Kombat costume. Did like a scorpion, so I painted my face like a skull, and then put on like the ninja outfit. So then when I take the like the face covering off, then like a skull face underneath. Ever so good. Best outfit ever.
Sounds amazing. Absolutely amazing. I'm not saying that my trick-or-treating memories growing up would even compare to that. I have to try and find some other images of me, because I can only remember that witch but I guess I did a shitty old ghost once. I did have a Scream costume from probably at the age of maybe like 14 that I
One that
like
you squeeze the
recycled.
little heart thing and the blood goes down the face.
I didn't have that. I didn't
Didn't have
have
the
that,
deluxe
but
edition.
I loved this Scream costume. I was like, I used to think I was the bee's knees going around because no one else had one. All right, no one else in my street, in the adjacent streets. I was the only one walking around as Ghostface. Obviously now Ghostface 10 a penny. But then I thought I was the shit.
Yeah.
And yeah, I reckon 4, maybe even 5 years in a row, Halloweens, even when I got to an age where like I wasn't trick or treating, I was just causing havoc. I loved running around in the old Ghostface mask.
Going out dressed as Scream. You're right. Like Scream, going out dressed as Scream on a suburban UK street is like poison ivies at a Comic-Con. Can't bloody move. You chockers for him.
Chockers. Absolutely chockers. What a time to be alive. But yeah, so Halloween in 1982,
The
unfortunately.
kids love Silver Shamrock masks.
The kids love Silver Shamrock masks. Obviously, these adverts are knocking about. We've got the jingle.
3 more days to Halloween.
It goes from 8 to 1. No, it goes from 8 to 3. It was such a like I was hoping for more of a countdown. It's like 8 more days to Halloween. And
the kids love it. When Tom Adkins goes back and he's brought them some of the shit plastic masks because he goes, "Oh, Dad, Mum's already got us some of these wicked Silver Shamrock masks," and the advert comes on and they whack them on.
How much do you reckon they cost? Take inflation into account and try and in today's money, how much are those masks costing?
I reckon in today's money, they would be. I mean, they're quite a deluxe. They're like boglins that you just put on your head. So
Yeah.
I reckon they're relatively expensive comparatively. I reckon adjusting for inflation, you're not seeing change out of 50 for those.
50. Wow.
Oh, okay. They're children's things. Maybe there's a different tax bracket. $34.99, not a penny more, not a penny less, rather.
You can commit to that. So I was going to say 25 to 30. That's what I was thinking. But yeah, you're a man of the world, so maybe 50. Maybe if some places can get away with it, then they probably couldn't they? Depends what the company is, I think.
It's the hot thing, right? All the kids want it.
If that is in the Asda aisle of Halloween, you're getting it for 15 quid. If it's coming from a big label like Silver Shamrock, 50 could be closer. Yeah.
Yeah, that's that. I think you get in the 15 for like the supermarket branded one, and if your nan's going to get you one, oh nan, you've got me the witch, and it's the Asda version. I've double booked. I can't wear this at school.
Oh my god, I can't wear it. Oh come on, you got to wear it. Don't be ungrateful. I'm serious. I cannot wear it. Sorry.
Do you want me to get bullied?
Yeah. So yeah, Harry Grimbridge. He's pursued by mysterious men in suits. He gets to the garage. He collapses. A guy called Walter Jones, who appears a little bit later as well. He calls for help, doesn't he? I don't think that the men in suits don't attack at this point, do they?
Well, they don't want to fall foul of Walter, so he's taking him in, and he's like, "Oh, there's not really any trouble, is that?" Like, bloody hell, you've been taken in by the system, don't you, Walter? Yeah, it's fine. Thanks for bringing this man to the hospital.
Yeah, you know what's happened. He's done that before, and he's been accused. What's that? This man you brought into hospital, who's clearly been battered. It was you, wasn't it?
You thumped him, didn't you?
You thumped him right in the nose. So yeah, obviously Harry is like terrified and a bit going a bit nuts, like passing out over and over again.
And he's like, the only thing he's able to say coherently is, "Oh, they're gonna kill us. They're gonna bloody kill us all.
They're gonna kill us all." So I'm guessing, are we meant to think that he just unearthed the truth of it?
He's rumbled it, yeah.
He's rumbled it, but rather than like putting that information to good use and maybe like genuinely trying to take it down from the inside or from the outside, he just goes absolutely opposite.
Yeah. He could have just taken that order and gone, "Right, cheers, I'm going to go sell these at my shop now. Bye.
Bye. Fucking on absolute nutters.
Yeah, but unfortunately, he's given it away. And now, unfortunately, he's incoherent. But that's okay, because once he recovers, now he's in the care of the hospital. Ben, now Dr. Tom Adkins has abandoned his kids and had to go straight into the hospital.
So I think
we'll get to the bottom of it.
I'm gonna take the kids trick or treating, or I'm gonna come back and take the kids or have them for the weekend or something. I gotta go to work. It says they're an alcoholic doctor. Was he?
I mean, he goes out to get some booze later.
Yeah, but that's not while he's on the job, is it? Well, on a different kind of job, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't. Oh,
he says an alcoholic doctor has a strained relationship with his ex-wife and 2 children. Yeah, he's a bit like that. He's not like I wouldn't say he's particularly a bad dad. He's just I guess estranged, and he's got other things going on in his life which seem to take precedent over his kids. That makes him sound like a bad dad.
things that he likes to go and do apart from do anything with his kids.
Oh, Dad, are you
going to save
working
lives
again
at the
this
hospital?
weekend?
Admirable. Fucking.
Gonna save
That's what he
lives at the
likes
hospital,
doing.
and I'm gonna take down an evil corporation from the inside. Don't lie to us, Dad. So yeah, as the guy in the hospital, and this is when they basically leave him, and Dr. Daniel Challis, Dan, says, I'm gonna go and have a nap. Which I think, great, if you can do that while you're working, brilliant.
So as soon as his back's turned, he goes for a nap. Then a suited man.
What does he say to the nurse? He says, "What? Oh, you want to have a nap with me?"
Yeah, he's so cheeky, isn't he?
And he said, "I wish I married you," and slaps her bum.
Yeah, he's a bad bloke. But then they don't seem to mind.
It was like that in the 80s. Well, isn't it better that it's not like that now? Yeah.
So that's it. He goes for a lie down, and while his back's turned, he's lying down. A suited man comes in and shoves his fingers into that guy's mouth, kills him.
How do you feel about the addition of these like Terminators, essentially? Like, do they really add anything to the film?
I mean, I don't know
to run away from.
With the power to build these sophisticated robots, I don't know why.
They want to kill all the kids.
Why the bad man wants to kill with the other technology he's got? So basically, he's developed magic rocks that can turn you in, not like pretty much turn you into bugs or teleport bugs from the bug dimension inside your person.
Turn you into bugs and snakes and other creepy crawlies.
He can do that, and he can build these robots, and his plan is incumbent upon them watching an advert on Halloween.
What has happened to him previously in his life that's made him hate kids so much?
It's just a joke, isn't it? Because he goes, "Oh, it's just a Halloween trick on the children."
Oh yeah, he does say that. It's just an harmless joke, isn't it? What, all the kids who watch this advert while wearing the masks will just turn to mush. It's just a laugh. It's just a laugh.
People think that YouTube pranksters have taken it too far. Look at this guy. He's not pretending to pinch someone's wallet at the ATM. He is.
If this was
turn your kids into bugs.
If this was a YouTube video, what would the clickbait thumbnail be? Prank gone too far. Millions of kids dead.
It'd be like prank backfires, and it'd just be that thumbnail of that when he gets chalked at the end.
What happens to him? What does he get turned into?
Just chalk. He just becomes chalky.
He turns into Andrew Lloyd Webber, I thought.
Turns into when Noel Fielding was the moon that time.
Face covered in shaving cream. Yeah, that's a spoiler. So yeah, one of the robot men turns up and just does that thing where it looks like he's gonna do, chiropractors on TikTok and stuff. You see loads of good chiropractor big crack videos. I've recently saw people doing like chiropractic, but like on your face. So like apparently clearing your pores and stuff. So they just like crunch your nose down, push your face down and stuff. It looks dangerous. This is essentially what they do to it.
I don't want someone with strong fingers coming and like poking me in the face.
Yeah,
the robots, I would say the strongest part of them structurally is the fingers. And he just comes and they shove the fingers in his face and kill him from it.
And his little hand's still moving afterwards as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
But then the nurse bollocks him and he just like storms. What are you doing in there? He goes, "Oh," like scarpers. and then
what are you doing in there? Oh no, I've been caught. Suicide.
Yeah, straight into the car. Bit of petrol.
What do you call it? Immolation.
Self-immolation.
Self-immolation. just like that monk on the front of the Rage Against the Machine album. He just goes, covers himself in petrol or gas, and burns himself up. And then obviously Dr. Daniel Challis runs out just at the right moment to see the car explode. First thing he does, calls the ex-wife and says, I can't be having a kids. 2 people have died here at the hospital. And she's like, that. And that what happens all the time at the hospital. And he's like,
this is different
no,
this time.
accidentally. What, everyone else before dies on purpose today.
You are being deliberately obtuse. What I'm saying is that I can't go and go to the kids because people have died in a more dramatic way than usual at the hospital, and it's going to take me a bit to sort it out.
Why is that the first thing he did? Ring them? I'll just be like, call them tomorrow, innit? Why call them that night and say, listen, I know I said I was going to have the kids tomorrow, but now I can. He knew what was going to go down. He knew that the relative of the man who'd been killed is going to come in and he's going to have to take charge. So yeah, essentially, Harry's daughter Ellie comes in to like identify the body. She's like, "That's my dad," and she can to talk about the suspicious events surrounding his death. What does she know about it?
She's got his diary and said, right, he picked up this shipment at this place, and then his next appointment was here, and he never made it because he never misses that appointment. He always goes for dinner with somebody.
That's right, yeah. Always goes for dinner. He didn't turn up. I knew what must have happened. He's been Silver Shamrocked or had his face smushed to dust.
So yeah, something's behind this. I need to find out what the deal is. And Tom Adkins, not wanting to have his kids for the weekend, is straight on it. And he's like, "Oh,
any excuse. I'll
drive you up there. We'll have a look, shall we?"
Oh, I got this. She's like, actually, I don't really need it. I'll get it. Oh, it's fine. I'll do it. Don't worry. Don't worry about petrol.
So they very briefly go and investigate her dad's toy shop and find all the things. They go, right, let's drive straight up there. Let's get straight to it's like a little town. I think things that are quintessentially like in films in the US where there's basically a little town that doesn't exist except for the grace of one big employer that's there, like like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory.
So it's called Santa Mira. It's in California. It's the hometown to the Silver Shamrock Novelties Factory, which made the Halloween mask. That obviously he was carrying at night of his death. I don't know. I feel like it's too much of a jump to now go, let's go and find out the makers of this mask. I feel like if someone was carrying a mask, you'd be like, what do you have a mask for?
Is that because that's also the delivery he apparently picked up?
Oh, okay. Okay.
So they've gone to investigate. They've gone to investigate the delivery, and in doing so, they go, right, it's time to. There's obviously something going on in this town. Let's stay over, shall we?
Let's stay over at a motel, and at this point, they're being watched from the shadows by various robots. I think they find out that their dad stayed at that motel in the past, and the fact that they go there and one of the first things they start doing is having intercourse with each other.
Oh yeah, when he stays in the room, he goes, "Oh, I can sleep in the car if you want." But he chants her. He's like, "Sleep in the car if you want." She goes, "No, you don't have to sleep in the car." He goes, "Oh, well, it'd be better than sleeping on this floor." And it's like, "Where do you want to sleep?" And he's like,
"Do you want to top and tail?" Well, the thing is, right, I would top and tail, but I've got terrible athlete's foot. All right, terrible.
So you don't want that.
It'd be right in your face. You don't want that.
I mean, you could just sleep in the bed and it just be normal. Like, we are undercover trying to investigate my dad's murder, so we could.
The thing is, right, I'm like in my 50s. This is Dan. I'm in my 50s. You're in your 20s. Some people would see that as weird. I see it as opportunity knocks. All right.
And by opportunity knocks, I mean me opportunity knocking you off, love. That's what he says, and he's straight.
And considering she's probably A, racked with grief because her dad's just died. B, like
died violently.
Died violently as well. Not just like passed away quietly in the night, reading a copy of.
And his face chiropracted.
He had his face chiropracted, not in a good way. Although I don't know. I mean, it's 50-50 in this initiation of sexy time. I don't want to spoil it, obviously, but there is a particular twist involving Ellie towards the end.
No, we do need to spoil it, Ben. We need to talk about it
right now. It did make me think.
At what point is she a robot?
Yeah. I have no idea. Is she a robot now? Because, right, okay, listen to this. Listen to this. If Conal Cochran has developed as artificial intelligence and robotics have gone to such a degree that he can make people who look, sound, feel, smell, and
even
everything
sneeze
else
like that
like a
robot
human,
did later.
and even sneeze like that robot did earlier, if he can make that, and he can also make robots that you can have sex with, he needs to forget everything else, because as we know, sex is the biggest business in the world. He is set for life. If he's made androids you can have sex with, tap into that, forget murdering all the kids, forget your masks and everything else, tap into that, you're ready to go. And the answer to that is, I have no idea how long Ellie was an android.
He could just put a bit of Stonehenge in their bum if he wanted to do that, and then they could get everyone. It wouldn't need to be masks.
Did you say in their bum?
Yeah, just
every single one. Every android sex doll he makes, put a bit of Stonehenge in their bum. That is a very, very interesting sentence.
And then they could just they could tempt someone into the bedroom being naked, and they'd be like, "Follow me." They'd be following them from behind, and then the laser could come out of their back end and turn them into bugs.
I mean, if he's insistent on turning everyone into bugs instead of just making a little bit of money for
it's just a laugh,
for
Ben.
himself,
Come on.
It's just a laugh. Yeah, but the answer is I don't know. Was Ellie replaced at some point back at the factory when things were kicking off, or was she an android all along, and was she sent there to
lure Tom Adkins to this town for no reason?
To lure Tom Adkins to this town for no reason. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make any sense, does it? But, you know, I like to think replaced. She was replaced.
Yeah, replaced at the factory later.
Because she got kidnapped. I'm doing that. But, you know, she got kidnapped later, didn't she? Taken to the factory, and then Daniel followed. I reckon he never actually found her. He only found a duplicate of her.
Yeah, she was just in the, you know, they chucked her straight in the furnace and then made a sophisticated robot exactly like her. But then why does she help him until they've ruined everything?
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
I'd love to see that. Imagine how horrific that would be. Like, main character Ellie Grimbridge, she's come all this way. She's been kidnapped. That's all right. Dan's going to save her, and then we see a scene of her just getting slung in a furnace.
Yeah, literally, they don't even talk to her. They just like literally march through the door and just like hoy her in.
Get in the furnace, and then later on we see her. We're like, how's she still alive? I think because when she comes back to life and attacks, not back to life, but when she goes full android and attacks Dan over and over again, it's probably the scene. Just it is a fight scene between two of them. It's got like 5 jump scares. It's like, gang. Then he beats her. Then he beats her once, and then, gang.
The right until the end, and also, you know what Robot's favorite move is? Strangling.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But you could just do you know when they say like if you're a hammer, every problem looks like a nail. If you're a robot, every problem looks like something you could solve with strangling.
Yeah, I'm definitely just gonna strangle that. Hang on a minute, this person, strangle it. This person's asking too many questions. Strangle it. Yeah.
But right now, there's no strangling going on. Well, it's more of a wider armed, more romantic strangle, aka hugging, because she wakes up in the night, and this is it as well.
Can I give you a wide-armed romantic strangle? Do you mean hug me? Yes.
Yes. You could have a non-violent romantic wide-armed strangle, yes, please. So this is another thing. You know, she wakes up in the night and goes, "Oh, do you want more sex, Tom Adkins?" And he goes, "Wait a minute, how old are you?" It's a bit late now.
He goes, "How old are you?" And then he says, "Are you sure you're not even in the least bit tired?" He's absolutely blowing. He's absolutely knackered. He's bust a gut. He's had a hernia from.
He's spuffing dust at this point, mate. He's done.
He's had a guts full, and she, young and virile, is still wanting some more sex. Tom Atkins.
And this is when I thought immediately suspicious. Are you already a robot?
Yeah, he's flaccid as a. He's trying to play pool with a piece of rope.
He's overcooked spaghetti. Tom Atkins. No, surely he's a virile man, but just a bit of teasing.
So, but this also feels kind of unnecessary and a bit mad, like the fact that there's a sexy time. It happens. It happens with Tom Atkins in The Fog as well, a bit, doesn't it? Like when he gets together with Jamie Lee Curtis, it's almost like he's got something written into his contract. He's like, I want to sleep with a younger woman who's like one of the main characters in this film, and for it to go on too long while some sort of external threat is
Oh
present.
yeah, because the external threat we have during the sex scene, we already met. Everyone tries to get run over in the car park of the hotel. So another salesman and his family are there, little
Mm.
buddy. He's like, and they almost hit him with the camper, and then a bike falls off the roof and almost hits him.
Oh
And
yeah.
then there's another saleswoman. She's pissed off that her shipment has been messed up, and
Yeah.
she makes our sex machine main character, the daughter, jump by beeping the horn exactly as she walked past. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. I
That made
didn't
me
mean to
jump as
scare you
well.
when I beeped
Whoa!
the horn as I walked past.
Have you ever seen that
Um,
video of an old lady walking past with a bottle of milk and someone beeps the horn and she just slings it? Beep! She just slings it in the air. It's good. It's good.
I'm gonna need to find that.
That's great.
Oh. But so there's loads with the salespeople in this little motel. Honestly, the most frequented motel ever. But while that sex scene is going on, the lady who is there to complain about a faulty order says one of the trademarks, one of the Silver Shamrocks labels has fallen off. Just one of the
Oh yeah.
masks that I had to sell. To be fair, my kid was banging it against a wall.
God, don't make a problem of it. Jesus.
But she's travelled to the main factory when one of the masks has been deliberately broken. She's
The
livid though.
original Karen.
Yeah. So she's
Every
there.
time, every time I say that, I'm talking to your get that your wife's name's Karen, and the connotations that now go alongside
there has to be
that
good
name
ones.
that don't still apply. That don't apply to your wife, of course not. I wouldn't suggest that for a second. However, yeah, she's complaining for little to no reason.
She's going along, but unfortunately, she never gets to make her complaint because while that sex scene is going on, she's doing a knitting in bed, doing a bit of cross stitch. I'm going to go
Yeah,
on Dr. Kawashima's brain training, standard standard things you might do in a hotel. Oh, got a crossword book. Got to take a break from the airport while I was there. So
lovely.
she's doing a lovely word search, and she just looks at the Silver Shamrock thing just as the advert's coming on because the advert is on ad nauseum. But Tom Atkins is at a
Yeah,
belly full of it.
it's
Um,
definitely speeding up as well, right?
yeah,
Every
with
time,
the
I wasn't sure if it was in my head or whether it was actually speeding up. It seems to speed up.
yeah, it
Like,
gets faster all the time.
yeah,
And while that advert is on, she thought, oh, this Silver Shamrock thing, I'll just choose this moment to give it a little poke with a hairpin and
why not?
triggers it early and it melts her face off with a big blue laser.
Yeah, it like electrocutes her, turns her face into. I mean, the practical effects, like the gore effects, people's faces melting and stuff, like look great. They look like
Yeah, it's really good for what is
horrific
on the
as well.
surface of it a silly film about magical masks that will turn you into bugs. She doesn't have to get her face blown off by this laser.
Yeah,
So she gets her
it's
face
pretty mad.
blasted off and becomes bugs.
Yeah. So it says the medallion emits deadly energy beam into her mouth. She picks it curiously with a hairpin. Well, that's don't stick the bloody hairpin where it don't belong. So it's like a microchip, isn't it, on the back of the mask that she discovers.
Yeah.
So and then men in lab coats turn up to take Marge's body away. Dan is like, I am a doctor. I said I'm a doctor. Don't worry, she's gonna get the best help possible. She's dead. She's beyond help.
At the
And he's
toy
like,
factory.
and he's like, well, who's going to look after it then? And then, yeah, the factory technicians describe, no. So they take it away and he hears, yeah, it's going to be in the Silver Shamrock factory, essentially. They've also got a great hospital wing, apparently.
And we actually see Conal Cochran at this point, right? He comes up and goes, oh, we have a wonderful hospital. He's having a great time.
Yeah, so he's like, yeah, I guess you would say the Willy Wonka of this scenario, a big, friendly, over the top sort of guy. who definitely hasn't got a sinister side, right?
Yeah, in many ways, outwardly much nicer than Willy Wonka. He can be a little bit abrasive, whereas this guy,
That's true.
ever so
That's true.
charming. He's got that
Yeah,
Irish charm about him. He's lovely.
he sure does. Yeah, and is this when he overhears factory technicians describe it a misfire to they say it
Yes.
to the factory owner. And that is when Daniel and Ellie decide to take a tour. Does Connell like invite them, or do they
No,
just turn up?
they
They
just
turn up,
go
don't they?
to they go to investigate the order. He goes, oh, they go and have a chat with the receptionist. Did this man
Yeah,
pick up this order? And Lay's, oh, couldn't possibly say. But then another man's like, oh, I loaded that one. A green car, right? Green car that
yeah.
you'd easily recognise. Yeah, he was in that green car, and he went off north actually. Said not to worry.
Don't worry,
Um,
everything's absolutely
it
fine.
was like everything in this part of my journey has been in order. If anything happens to me, it must be somewhere else that I visit after here, and then gets on his way. But then the other salesmen in this family are there for a tour of the factory.
Yeah, that's right, isn't
And
it? Yeah.
considering their ultimate fate in this film, why has he invited them there? It's his best salesman. Why would he do this to him?
Yeah. What I mean, unless this is the end game, isn't it? So like, it doesn't matter if he's his best salesman because he even refuses to take orders for next year. So he's like, you might be my best salesman. You've done more than anyone else for this, but I'm going to make an example of you.
I mean, why refuse to take orders next year if you're going to kill him anyway? Just go like, yeah, I'll put the order in.
Yeah, stick the order in, shred it.
How many do you want? 300? Yeah. I'll tell you what, free for you.
Mm.
Brilliant, spot on.
While they're touring the factory, that's when Ellie spots her father's car. Those men in suits are like guarding it. And then what happens?
Well, they go on the tour and they see also that the toy maker Conal is wicked at making robots. There's loads of like
Oh yeah,
automatons around there.
and he's
Um,
like, "Oh, don't put that mask on. It was this one because it's been through final processing." And they're like, "Oh, what's final processing?"
can't
Making
tell you,
it.
dangerous.
It's too dangerous to even think about. Yeah.
So yeah, they go on the tour. Ellie sees the car and goes, "Hang on, that's my dad's car." And they just sort of like get around. They go, "Oh, I think we better go." So they go back to the hotel. Ellie says, "I want to leave." Tom
Mm.
Adkins says, "Yeah, absolutely, of course." He does phone the coroner at one point and say, "Yeah, have you done the autopsy yet? Just somebody just springs and stuff. We've really dropped the ball on this one." He says, "Well, keep looking at it." Um, oh,
Yeah.
and we missed just before they went to the. I mean, I hate to miss this important scene. Maybe this is where we see that the character's meant to be slightly alcoholic because he goes out one previous night to get some booze in,
Yeah.
and a homeless man um, pissed off that Connell only brought in external workers, said he's going to get himself
Yeah.
a big old box of Molotov cocktails and burn down the factory. So, having heard him say this, because Conal Cochran like monitors the entire town, some of his robots come. They did not take kindly to it, even though the man says it was just they just pull his head off,
Just a laugh. Oh yeah, they just yank his head clean off from his shoulders.
twist his head off like a bird.
Just pull his head off. Also, like all the CCTV that Silver Shamrock's got on looks terrible. You couldn't identify anything. It's like all pixelated and and sort of
It's,
like one color.
it's all pixelated, and you'd never really monitor anyone covertly because the camera's like a
Yeah.
every time they look at anything.
It's like the cameras in early series of Big Brother where like you go and people look up at it like, what the fuck? Jesus.
Um,
Um,
yeah, so now they've seen the factory and it's right, time to get out of here. Um, Tom Adkins leaves Ellie packing, tries to make a couple of calls, but the guy's also in the phone lines, can't make
oh
any
yeah.
calls. And when he gets back to the hotel room, Ellie is gone and he's being pursued by robot men.
Pursued by robot men. Yeah, every time he tries to get through to someone, can you get me through to the sheriff? Can you get me through to this? It's like, sorry, we can't do this, we can't do that. So I don't. Does he try and get through to his kids at this point? I think it's a little bit later, isn't it?
No, what he does is he sneaks to, knowing that Ellie's been captured or is missing, he sneaks himself off to the factory. And when he's in the factory, obviously
Yeah.
there are outside lines there, so he does phone his wife. Then it's like you said earlier, like the conversation with your mom, like just don't take those masks off them.
Say there's really massive. They don't put the mask on, but they love the masks. They absolutely love these masks. They're their favorite things, and they're at least they're here. You're not even here, Dad. These masks are their new dad.
Look, also it's one of those things where people should just accept. Look, he doesn't have to say that there's something wrong that's going on there, because he could just say, like, you know, they're dangerous. Stop it.
I don't think anyone's going to believe him, are they? That's the thing. Like, he's become such a unreliable fella that even like when he's calling like the TV stations at the end, it's like there's pretty much nothing he could say that would make anyone not think he was off his rocker.
Right, listen. Listen, there's bits of Stonehenge in those masks, and if you happen to watch the advert while you're wearing them, you'll get turned into bugs.
Yeah. What could you even say? Like, what could you literally say to stop people doing it? You'd be like, the masks have got asbestos in them. We've just found out. I'm the
Health
safety
inspector.
health inspector at the factory. We've just found out they've got asbestos in it. You've got to put that out as a thing. Get rid of the masks rather than watch. Put on your masks.
Yeah, don't watch that as well, because actually it's they've accidentally put out a program where it turns out that the presenters are wrong, and it's just come out fresh news. This news just in.
Fresh news.
Presenters are wrong, and he's cancelled. Make sure this doesn't go out at 9:00.
The person who wrote the jingle, he's been accused of being a bad bloke. So
yeah, it'd be like, hang on, it's the paedophile inspector here. You'll never guess who wrote that song.
Oh, no. It's 1982 though. It go to number 1.
Yeah.
It's 1982. So yeah, he obviously tries to call it. It doesn't work really. And then he gets captured, and
I love the fight before he gets captured. So he fights the robot man, and
he punches.
Those punches, he like tries to knock him out, and he does a couple of good punches, and then of course gets strangled a bit. But unfortunately, in all of the power that Conal Cochran has put into the robots for resisting face punches, a couple of punches in the tummy, you thump them a few times, and they'll start sicking up glue.
Yeah, exactly.
So he thumps him in the stomach, and glue comes out of him. But then after he's had that one fight, the other one just comes up and puts the shoulders on him, hands on the shoulders, like, arrested.
I mean, if you struggle so much to kill one, you can't take on another. It's like when a boss, you think you've beaten a boss, you've struggled,
and the second one comes in. There's 2 of these now.
2 of these, yeah, I can't do it. So yeah, they take him to the final processing control room, and this is where Conal Cochran gets to do his like Bond villain thing, where he essentially shows, again, rather than doing a big monologue at this point, he just shows Dr. Dan what these masks are going to do. And in the room, they're watching like a video link of the family from earlier, the salesman and his wife and his kid who wanted the Silver Shamrock mask, and shows them exactly what it does. And the kid puts on the mask, watches the advert, and while the parents are kind of like talking about other things, he starts to turn into
bugs, doesn't he?
He's turned into bugs and mush, and a horrible, great big rattlesnake comes out. The wife faints.
Does she faint to death?
Sorry, the mum faints. I don't know. The mum faints, and then the dad like tries to get out. And what happens? Is he
gets bitten by a rattler?
Oh, he gets bitten by a rattler, yeah. And then we see the shot, and they're all like, it looks like they're all dead in that room.
Yeah, because she's got some eels on her now, but they probably just crawled out of the kid.
Come from? It's horrible, isn't it? How many things is it? Like a never-ending like source of load of stuff. But Tom Atkins, Dr. Dan, has probably got the best reaction. He is literally like, "What the actual fuck is happening?" You would be there, wouldn't you? You'd be like, "This can't be real. What is going on?" And then
this really explains it's a joke, right? Because it's just a joke on the bloody kids, isn't it?
It's just a bloody joke on the kids. I'm going to kill them all. The microchip on each mask is a fragment of Stonehenge that he stole.
Which he stole, and it was in a clip. There was a news clip at the very beginning, which is like, it's like BBC World Service. Yeah. British authorities are baffled at how Stonehenge was bloody nicked.
Stonehenge has been bloody nicked by someone, some sort of bloody magician or something.
Some Carmen San
And even
Diego
though
motherfucker has
I
stolen
know
our Stonehenge.
it's supposed to be linked to um Celtic, so like ancient rituals, native Celtic lands, sacrificing children at Samhain, pagan celebrations, witchcraft, and all that stuff. We know it's linked to that, but like I don't really know how. Do you know how?
Well,
How?
if I mean, they do say that like at certain times when the barriers between the world of the living and the dead are at their weakest, if you sacrifice some kids, you can get given all the bugs you can eat.
Is that all he wants though? Again, he just make sex doll androids, and he'll have anything he wants.
You can buy bugs.
You could buy all the bugs you want. You can get them.
But yeah, he's not really looked at the value of the thing that he's created here. But he thinks, right, best kill off Dr. Dan. So he leaves him in an easily escapable room with a Silver Shamrock mask on him with an hour and a
Yeah.
quarter before the big finale.
What are you gonna do for an hour and a quarter? Just chill? No, I'm gonna try and get
Watch
out.
Halloween.
Well, it says there that the mask kills the wearer with brain damage and releases a swarm of insects and snakes that kill anyone nearby. So it's like end of the world stuff then, surely. If every kid watching it, I'm assuming it's just US, but every kid watches it, that happens, and then what? Their parents die as well. So like,
Yeah,
fucking everyone.
because of bugs and snakes.
Yeah, and why are the bugs and snakes? Why do they kill people? How'd you program that?
Are they in on it?
Are you bugs and snakes in on this? Are you all witchcraft people as well?
Yeah,
What's
so
going on?
basically, Conal Cochran has gathered all the bugs and snakes around and gone, right, lads, I got an idea for a joke. It's really going to get the kids.
It's a right laugh.
Will you get into these masks, and then when the signal comes, they'll be dead of brain damage, ain't going to do anything. But then once you come out, just kill anyone nearby. That's all I ask.
Deal. What's in it for us?
So he leaves. You get to this music. He puts Dr. Dan on a chair with a skeleton mask on him. Little does he realize that his incandescent rage will help him escape, and he does a brilliant throw. He throws that mask over the
he does.
camera.
First time is all right.
Yeah, first go.
What a legend. So he managed to escape, rescues Ellie. Then they all sneak into like the main control room. He activates the commercial on the screens.
And in the quick view of it, he's seen it when he killed that family. He seems to have memorized the sequence perfectly.
That's all you need, mate. That's all you need. So yeah, he sneaks into the control room, activates the commercial, and it like
he
kills
puts
robots.
He puts the commercial on, and then he and Ellie go up into like a gantry that goes over the thing,
ceiling rafters,
and he just tips a big box of Silver Shamrock, like the chips. He just tips them over the end, and with the combination of them falling and the advert being on, all the robots get like electrocuted.
Yeah,
they all explode, and then Conal like looks up and he's like, "Game recognizing game."
Yeah, he like claps. He goes, "Well done. My evil plan has been undone by a doctor, by a slightly problematic doctor and his young daughter, who's actually a robot, and I've programmed her to get you, but for some reason she's helping you at this
she helps
pinnacle
you at this
stage."
Point. Yeah, surely he doesn't wish to be turned into chalk.
And then he turns into chalk slash not Andrew Lloyd Webber. Actually, he looks like what's his name?
Jeremy Clarkson.
I always forget this guy's name. Soup cans, paint, doing a bit of art with soup cans. What's his name? Andy Warhol.
Oh, Andy Warhol.
He turns into Andy Warhol.
So basically, his
hair's pretty white anyway. But
the magical stone, because there's a big bit of Stonehenge here, and this is the bit we said earlier, where it's like, bloody hell, the trouble I had getting this here. So the ring of computers basically becomes a Stargate for a while, like a portal opens, and then it turns Conal Cochran into a man made of cream, He becomes.
Is he cream? Is he chalk? Is he cream? Is he chalk? Or is he
Is he
Andy Warhol?
Treeball's mascot, Mr. Soft? He becomes Mr. Soft and then is destroyed, made entirely of ice cream. He melts away. He
Yeah.
disappears. And that's it for
Yeah,
Conal Cochran, the big
it's like a big
mastermind behind it
fire,
all.
isn't it?
Oh, you could bring that up as part of Kev's theory. You know, even if you can't use the Silver Shamrock masks, you could have, you know, a little extra scene in Halloween Ends when he's like under the ground there,
I
just
reckon
a portal
Conor,
opening, him coming back up and saying, "I'll sort you out, Michael. I'll regenerate you."
I don't reckon Conor Cochran's even the mastermind. I reckon he's just a man for the public eye. I reckon there's something else going on behind closed doors. And it's weird that obviously that there were like pagan rituals and stuff that returned in Halloween, the one with Paul Rudd.
Oh, where it's the Thorn like
Yeah.
organization.
The bloody foreign organization, isn't it? Would have been interesting if there were some links back to this.
It could be done. So
Parallels.
yeah, everything's on fire. Tom and Ellie drive away. Not Tom, Dan and Ellie drive away. And it's at that point where he goes, "You're awfully quiet." And you know, sometimes that happens on a car journey. You can just fall into a comfortable silence. You can be listening to the radio.
They've been through a lot. Like, it's nice to have some quiet time, and it's
Yeah.
fine to ask for that quiet time as well. Sorry, and I want some quiet reflection, please. Is that okay?
But that's not what happens. Dan turns to her and goes, "You're right." And instead of saying, "No, no, I'm just having a moment of being quiet," actually, she turns and starts strangling him. And the second the hands go around his neck,
Ding!
obviously a robot.
As soon as you grab me, I'm gonna keep driving, not put the brakes on, just keep driving to a tree. And yeah, this is where there's like 5 jump scares as he keeps beating Ellie, and then
Yeah, he tire irons her. Oh, and by the way, we have a little cut scene as well where Dr. Dan's friend, the coroner, is like, "Oh, look into Conal Cochran, will you?" And
yeah,
she has one last look at the
that's right.
one last look at the bits of material that have been burned. I think she realizes, hang on a second. We didn't accidentally do an autopsy on a bit of car. This is a robot. And it feels like there was a robot hiding just off screen to kill her when she works that out.
Yeah. He'd been there for 2 hours, and he was waiting.
I don't want to do it. If she doesn't work this out, she can live. But the second shot, she's like, she goes to pick up and call the sheriff, and then the second she does that, literally a robot comes in, hangs the phone up, and then drills her.
Oh Jesus! Literally drills her. Nothing.
Literally, she's left a drill on the side. He just picks up and goes, and done.
Yeah, you're done.
But yeah,
so Dan beats Ellie, gets away from her. Car crash. Obviously, flees on foot. He's running. We get some
her arm is
now.
Still alive. That strangles him a bit more.
Stop strangling me, for God's sake! We see all the kids around the US, different states, getting ready, getting all their masks together. Halloween night is drawing in. They know that they've got to watch the advert, the commercial at 9 p.m. There's a big giveaway. What's it going to be? Win a load of masks? I've already got one. Not interested. Win a bit of Stonehenge.
I love the fact that basically these masks, you think they would lend themselves to being dressed as a jack-o'-lantern, a witch, or a skeleton. But the kids across the US appear to have worn regular Halloween costumes, but just with this mask. There's a brilliant one where there's like a jack-o'-lantern with a pirate's hat, just riding about on a bike.
Yeah. I like that though. I like that. And obviously we get a really iconic moment, which is like the main art, the silhouettes of all the kids like walking over the hill with like the orange sky in the background. That is great. That is iconic. But yeah, Tom Atkins essentially gets to the garage from the start of the film.
8:57.
8:57, always on time. Where what's his name? Walter Jones is still there. Walter Jones is still there. He's like, get me to a bloody phone. It's life or death. Of course it is, mate. I believe you, Faz wouldn't.
And then he's phoning up saying, just make up a reason to us. Say it's a bomb, but you've just told me to say it's a bomb, so I know it's not a bomb. And it's like, no,
I feel like there's literally nothing you could do in this situation. I don't think there is. I think you just have to go, it's horrific, but there's literally nothing I could do. Maybe in the days of the internet, there might somehow be away, but you need longer than 3 minutes to get something.
Yeah, something like that done. But also, like, those kids walk into the. You could have stopped them. Should kids take those off? Will you?
Yeah, literally, it's almost like he's watching and waiting a little bit. He's a little bit curious as well. He wants to see
Yeah.
if
So
it actually
the
happens
advert
in real
comes
life.
on, it goes off, and then the kids, ever so rude, change the channel in the garage television.
Yeah, they
They
go,
change the
bloody hell.
channel, and then the advert goes off a second night, and then a third time, and Tom
So
Adkins
it's
is
on
there
three
going,
different channels. So what are we supposed to believe? It's on BBC One, BBC Two. I know it's not those channels, obviously. BBC One, BBC Two, ITV, and Channel 4.
there must have been on. Well, there's no adverts on BBC, so would have
Good
been
point. Three,
ITV,
four.
Channel 4, Channel 5,
Yeah, sounds like it.
ITV
That's
2.
pretty mad, isn't it? It's mad to think that would be happening. But yeah,
Yeah, it
it's taken off
happens.
2 channels, but then he seemingly fails with a third, and he's screaming into the telephone.
Stop it! Stop it!
Stop it! Turn it off! Turn it off! Stop it!
You could have just turned off the TV, and then you would have been all right.
Exactly. But I like the fact that it ends on that moment. So there's not necessarily a happy ending. It's not I mean, it is a sad ending because we're supposed to think he failed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wonder if it was done with like ideas of what could potentially become a sequel to that. I don't know.
An apocalyptic world where it's all just dead children's bodies and bugs
Oh Jesus.
across the world.
Doesn't sound nice, does it? So there we go. That's
Halloween. It. That's Halloween
3.
Season of the Witch. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween to all of you, especially Dr. Dan. Well, not Dr. Dan. He's had a bad Halloween. Have you got any name game?
I've got 3 for you. Have you got any this week?
I got 3. Let's round robin that bad boy.
Would you like to go first?
Oh, caught me off guard. Okay, so kids all over America want Silver Shamrock masks for Halloween. Dr. Dan seeks to uncover a plot with Elliot at his side. That's the synopsis. Okay, kids all over America want Silver Shamrock masks. No, here we go. Kids all over America want Jamie Oliver cookbooks for Halloween or any other day of the week. Uncovering a plot which involves some cod having salt and pepper put on it in the correct amounts.
It's Season of the Fish.
Season of the Fish or Seasoning the Fish? Correct.
Thank you so much. I'm going to start then with this one. Kids all over America really want a chewy, chocolatey treat. However, the Xenomorph Queen won't share them.
Oh, a chewy. Is it Reason?
It's Reason, the chocolate chew, indeed.
Oh, yes. Classic. And the what? The Xenomorph Queen won't share them.
She actually has the monopoly on reasons and is not sharing them at all.
Reason of the bitch.
They have Reason of the bitch. I was not comfortable calling any actual human woman a bitch, so I went for
get away from her, you bitch.
Yeah.
Reason of the bitch.
Reason of the bitch.
Okay, kind of similar. Kids all over America have been grassed up by the same person. He's a massive grass. And this time at Halloween, all of them are trying to bargain with this person. Don't do it again.
You're reasoning with the snitch.
Reasoning with the snitch. Correct.
Kids all over America are bloody sick of the inherited wealth and privilege of King Charles III. So they all gather together with Dr. Dan to commit a crime against the throne, but not in a really bad way. They just put a load of rosehip powder in King Charles's pants, but it is still a crime.
I feel like it's really weird. Is it treason of the rich?
Oh, they put rosehip powder in his clothes.
Oh, so what does that mean?
It's ever so uncomfortable. He's scratching. He's got a horrible rash.
Treason of the Itch.
Treason of the Itch.
Because my next one was Treason of the Rich, so that's why it's confused me there. Always on the same wavelength. So that was my last one. Have you got one more?
Yeah, I had to amalgamate that one because I had Treason of the Snitch beforehand, so I just mixed it up. So I've just got those two then.
Treason of the Bloody Snitch. Okay. There we go. That's name game. So we've got to rate the movie A to F. Pluses and minuses are allowed. Rate good or rate bad. I can't remember. I know we rated this quite highly on our Halloween franchise ranking. I think we both put it second or third, maybe third. I think third actually. Yeah. But so I don't really know how, if we rate it now, what that means. I think my rating maybe has slightly changed anyway, because I thought it was all right before, but now I think it is iconic. I don't think it's like the best film, but a lot about it is iconic. And especially with Kev talking to us about his pitch for what he would like Halloween Ends to be, linking to this is great, obviously, for the amount of fans who like Season of the Witch. But I think I'm happy enough to just give it a straight B. I feel like, sure, the addition of Michael Myers in any context wouldn't really have made sense. If it was just a film called Season of the Witch, I think I'd feel the same. The fact that it's got the Halloween name to it doesn't really mean much to me, because we got loads of Michael Myers afterwards, possibly too much. They're just
and his big incel energy. I'm with you, and I just had to look this up. So yeah, I did, in a Halloween franchise ranking, ranked Season of the Witch third, just behind Original Recipe Halloween and 2018's by David Gordon Green. So yeah, this is a bit of an all-timer for me in the franchise, and I think it's because a little bit opposite to you, whereas you feel it feels like a separation from the rest of the series. I think as a whole, it makes the series all the stronger because it's like a nice little palate cleanser. This is a nice sorbet in between bouts of Michael Myers. Lovely little palate cleanser. So I enjoy it for that reason, and I kind of like its tonal mismatch because it is a silly film. A silly film with lots of really quite graphic violence in it, and like like kids having their heads melted and turned into disgusting bugs, or a woman getting her face blown off by a magic laser. Like, these things shouldn't go together, but yet here we are. I'm going to join you on a B, and I liked it a lot.
Awesome. I think a B is fair. Let us know what you think of this film, whether it's your favorite of the franchise, the redheaded stepchild of the Halloween franchise. There we go. That is Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, and that is the end of our Halloween special. Happy Halloween to everybody out there, whether you're dressing up as a bin bag, curly-haired witch, Scorpion. It was Scorpion, wasn't it?
It was Scorpion, or Scream himself.
Scorpion or Mr. Scream. Enjoy yourself. Be safe out there, of course. Don't do any tricks, will you? Treats for everyone. Don't do any tricks.
In this cost of living crisis, don't go wazzing eggs at people. Come on. Starving kids out there. Just eat them eggs up.
If you're going to do a trick, do a harmless trick, like kill all the kids in the USA with just some sort of weird witchcraft murder scheme. That's fine. So yeah, thanks,
and if you
everybody.
if you do steal a Stonehenge, do put it back afterwards.
Yeah, for God's sake. Be respectful. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed the show, become a patron over at patreon.com/horror hangout. Thanks to our current patrons, including I've stopped reading out the list. I haven't got a list in front of me. Thanks to all of our current patrons, all of you under one umbrella. Thank you for your constant support.
Thank you, everybody.
Appreciated. Thanks to Taj Easton for our theme music. Thanks to Acast for hosting the show. Please consider giving us a rating or a review. Head over to the Facebook group Horror Hangout Board of Advisors for more. We're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. I don't know why I never mentioned that. Next week, we begin November. So don't feel blue that October's over, because the spooky content keeps coming from the Horror Hangout podcast. Are we okay to say who is week one? Do we know who week one is?
I don't think I've confirmed the exact dates, but in an order to be confirmed, um,
Yes.
we have Emma, who we met at Fright Fest, and you'll have seen some video with her. She should be joining us, all being well, for talking about Deathgasm. What else have we got for the month of November, Ben? Anything else that we can throw out?
Joey Oliveira um,
Yes.
joining us to discuss. Not quite sure what film is going to be yet, but horror comic creator. He's going to be talking to us about one of his favorites, something that inspires his comics. We've also got Ad from the Bristol Black Horror Club. Again, we haven't decided on the film exactly yet. He's going to join us to be talking about that. And also M, aka the Jigsaw Killer on Instagram, is joining us for the final episode of the month, which will be Dead Silence. That one's confirmed.
There you go.
There you
That
bloody
Jigsaw's had a
go.
load of apprentices, hasn't he? Another one.
Another one coming out the woodwork.
Just announced it on Instagram as well. Bloody hell.
Another bonanza of a month. A interview with the director of It's a Wonderful Knife coming out in the next week or so, and also our bonus episode on When Evil Lurks. And I'm sure in and around that, lots of extra additional content. Horror Hangout plays, remember that. So keep it here for all your horror content across
Any
all the
time of year.
platforms at all times, any time of year. Forget just October. All the normies enjoying horror in October. What's that? Watching a horror film? It's a way of life, mate.
Any day of the year, mate. Any day. Right,
There
for
we go.
now, happy Halloween,
Yes.
everybody. I hope you have a lovely and safe one. Yeah. Get out there,
Enjoy.
get it up you, and we'll
Get
see
it
you
up
next
you.
week.
All the best. Take care now. See you soon.